A glare. Okay, well, I'm going to go ahead and get started. So what I want to share with you is before I bought a fuse tool, I would just use this is a regular pocket letter. Hi! This is simply a regular 9-sheet pocket letter. And what I would do is usually in my center pocket, I would put a card, and then I would sprinkle a bunch of stuff in there, the glitter. I would use the glitters and beads and things like that. And then I would take my tape runner and tape it. I would just kind of lift it up a little bit and tape right under here. And then to cover that tape line, I would put washi over it. So that's what I did before I got a fuse tool. And I would do the same thing when I would cut these down, so that I would have 3, and I would fill it, tape across the top, and then put the washi over it to cover it. Hi, Michelle. So if you don't have a fuse tool, there are ways that you can do it before going out and spending money on a fuse tool, because it is an expensive tool. So make sure you use a coupon when you do decide to purchase it. Okay, so one thing that I've learned is that you want to have some space. Now, I usually do some type of stamping on it. So I stamped on the back, got some decorations on the front. So I put it in here. Well, if I can get it in there. Okay, so I put it in, and if you can notice, there's a little bit of space on each side. And I leave that space so that when you fill it, it doesn't bust open. Because if you fill these with, like, the beads, they're a little bit bigger. Let's see. There's, like, some of these bigger beads that are in here. See, it's a little bit bigger. So when you fill it with things like that, the bulk of it can sometimes break the seams on the side. So I simply leave that little bit of space, and I also like to leave a little bit of space at the bottom. So when I use the fuse tool, I make sure that I have this in here straight the way that I want it. And then it's kind of hard to see, but there's a little line in here, and it's always, to me, it's, oh, hi Allison, to me it's always easier to use that little bit of space that's in here when I go to fuse my pockets or whatever. And the reason I feel like it is because if you don't, then the fuse tool can hit the plastic where you don't want it to. So I simply line it up where I want it to go, keeping in mind that I want some space. And it's kind of just, you're going to eyeball for the space. And then I hold it, and I simply run my fuse tool down, just like that. It's very hot. You usually have to let it heat up for 15 minutes, and I'm not sure I've let mine heat long enough because I've only been home, I think I've been here quite 15 minutes, so mine may not be quite hot enough. Let's see. Let's try this one more time. One more time. There we go. Okay, now I'm using the one that rolls, and what I'm using under mine, because I don't have the mat that it calls for. I didn't buy that yet. I don't think I will be buying it. I did a video yesterday on Bible journaling, and this mat serves both purposes. This is actually just one of those barbecue mats that you can put in on your grill, and it can withstand very high temperatures of heat, so it works perfectly for using my fuse tool, using my heat gun. It's just perfect for both of those. So after I've done that, I've got it sealed down the side. It's sealed on this side already. It's sealed across the bottom. And then so I'm simply going to fill it. And you can fill it with any kind of little beads, glitter, anything that you like to fill it with. You can add some extra decorations, and I've got beads falling all over the place. My grandbaby will come in later and help me pick them up. She loves picking these up. She says, Nana, I found them. Okay, so I am not one of these people that add like and fill this up completely. I'm just not that person because I still like to be able to see what's on the inside. So I just put a little bit in there. And then I have these are pretty gold sequins. I'll add some of those. I have them in different colors. I also have some words. Sometimes I'll add words. And these, pick these up from Michaels. I think I've added a couple more than I want in here. So we'll just take them out. And you just have to fill this to what you like. Everybody likes something different. And that's the beauty of crafting. It doesn't have to be what someone else does. You can just, you know, learn the technique and then do what's pleasing to your eyes. That is the beauty of art. So I have in here probably about all that I would want to put in here because I like for it to be able to move. I like for you to be able to see the design that's behind it. Although this is just plain flowered cardstock paper, I still like that. I also like to try to keep all of mine on one side, although they have gone to the other side. And then I love glitter. This is just some gold glitter, and I like the shakers because then I don't overdo it. So I shake in here how much glitter I want. And something that I forgot to do and say is usually when I do these and I'm going to use glitter, I usually take a dryer sheet and just wipe on the inside of it, and then that helps it to helps the static so it doesn't stick to the packaging so as much. So there's what I like, and then I'm simply going to lay it down, and then once again I'm going to seal. And let's see, find my edge. And then I usually just kind of eyeball and move it up just a little bit from my edge. And I have it where I want it. Okay. And then I run this down. Now, you have to press, but don't press too hard because if you press too hard, this can actually act as a cutting and can actually cut through. So I have it sealed, and then all I do is just trim a little bit. I just like to trim it up a little bit, add some decorations, and it's done. So this will become one of my shaker pockets. I just love the sound of it. Okay, so that's one kind that I like to do. Now another kind that I like to do is I like to do cutouts. So this is simply the mason jar. And I have, again, the same, I'm using the same pocket letter. I've just cut them down. And now I'm going to put this in. Now, these are a little bit more tricky to do because it's not simply a straight line. So this time I'm going to use the edge of this. And I'm just going to put the edge where I want it to go. And I'm not sure you can actually see what I'm doing here. Let's see. How well can you see? Okay. So then I'm going to just take it and roll it along. And then I may have to take it away because this is rounded here. So I want to go round. And then I want to go round again and then straight up. And I do the same thing for the other side. And I always remember that I want to leave a little bit of space. You don't want to leave this sitting there very long because it is hot and it will burn through. So now I'll be able to cut this around and get my mason jar shape, which is ultimately what I would like to do. Okay. So now that I have it, I left the top open. I hope I left the top open so that I can fill it. And this is a little bit smaller, so let me add some brown ones this time. And you can just fill this with anything you like. Cutouts, beads, bling, lots of bling. Okay, so I think I have about what I want in there. Again, some glitter. I gotta have that glitter. And you can do glitter in any color. I just simply pulled out my gold tonight. I didn't want to deal with those little shakers and try to do a video. Okay, so now we have it. Okay, and so then again, I'm simply going to hold this down and close around the top of it. Get some of this stuff out of the way. Okay, I'm going to make sure that my lines are connecting as well. And I want to hold this up as straight as I can when I am doing it this without using the ruler. Okay, there we have it. And then I would just simply take my scissors, because it's all closed in now, and I can cut around here and okay, and then there we have it. So these are